Entrepreneurs that find success are self-confident individuals that are admired and who inspire confidence in others. They face their fears and tend to be risk takers. They know that they can get past the challenges and setbacks they face in business. In this episode 55, Devon and I are going to give you 5 simple ways you can boost your self-confidence and become someone that others admire on your path to entrepreneurial success.
Uncompromised, uncompromised, we uncompromised, uncompromised, we uncompromised, and I got it. Look, what does it take for you to be great? Keep it 100, bro, you know the answer. Pursuing your purpose, creating profits, building legacy. Anything less, how could you even fathom? Just sit back and imagine all that can truly happen when you pursue your passions. Yeah. So eliminate distractions and get back to the action. That's the law of attraction. You gotta build a team to build a dream. Family, faith, and focus. Counsel can only build a king. Are you prepared to reign? Cause whether you weather the weather won't change. Whether you weather the weather won't change. Stay true to the vision. Stay true to the mission. Gotta get to the finish. Take a moment to listen and come and see it through our eyes. We'll show you what it means to live uncompromised. We're uncompromised. 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 We're uncompromised. Yeah. Uncompromised. We're uncompromised. We're uncompromised. Yeah. Uncompromised. Uncompromised. You're uncompromised.
Welcome back to the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast, presented to you by the Legacy Leadership Learning Group. Do you have that entrepreneurial spirit? Are you constantly thinking about how to create value and build new businesses? Maybe you're trying to find innovative ways of doing business to replace some old, outdated ones. Well, if that is so, then we are here to talk to you. This is a show where we teach you what it takes to pursue your purpose, create profits, and build a legacy. I am Jimmy Gonzalez Jr., and I'm joined by my co-host, Devon Watts Jr.
What is going on, my people? It is great to be back potting. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get to it. Jimmy and I warmed up. We done had about an hour and a half-ish or so pre-pod, just catching up session, even though we were just talking yesterday, but we want to make sure we bring our A game to you guys. So I'm ready to get to it, man.
100%. Yeah, got to bring our A game for our new listeners and our loyal listeners. Again, please feel free to rate and review this podcast. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, we would love for you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And then share this content with another entrepreneur that you know will get benefit from this, especially if you know that they're lacking a little bit of self-confidence, because that's what we're here to talk about today, is making sure that we're providing you some tips and some ways that you can boost your confidence for entrepreneurial success. We've been having some discussion already. Both of us, it's been, maybe a week or so, but we've both been back from vacations and some big events and situations, positive situations that are taking place in our life. And I think feeling confident about where we're at right now and where we're going and the things that we have outlined for the remainder of this year in Q3 and also Q4. I think we got a few things to talk about. Chop up.
Yeah, man, 1,000%. Definitely feeling confident after coming off of the official kickoff and launch of our alpha tests and just being able to connect with those gentlemen.
Yes.
Man, it's just awesome. The affirmations on top of affirmations as we actually take this step and start having those discussions, man. I know that, you and I talked a little bit about you feeling it as well, but the immediate feedback just after the first session, as we've laid out the content and the journey that we're going to take these men on and shepherd them through and support them through as we all go through this learning experience together, that has my confidence on like 15. outside of all the other stuff that we got going on, man. So I don't know about you.
No, it is confidence, man. And actually, even this morning, kind of going through a devotion, thinking about humility, right, and being humble in spirit. So there's confidence, but the confidence comes because, man, the hair on my arms were standing up, talking about spirit filled and spirit led in that conversation, and just how the conversation itself was evolving. And I like what you said, because it's this journey that we're going to be a part of and walk with these men, but also our journey, as we're coaching them and working with them, and as we continue to refine this process and continue to build out additional steps as we look again to close this year on a very, very strong note. So man, confident in the one who's leading us and what we have in front of us, and just feeling very excited and very blessed because of that. So yes, confidence is on 15 for sure.
Absolutely. So now I know you recently, you were coming back from a vacation. Are you spending some time with the family and whatnot in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about in the last episode, right? I kind of gave a little bit breakdown of the process that we went through in preparing for that week, and things that you and I had, the family that was preparing for, making sure that we had our day trip into New York outlined. I will say, in all transparency, it definitely wasn't up to the standards of your pops. It wasn't outlined to the T. We didn't have every destination or every minute planned. We had a good game plan going in. We saw everything that we wanted to see, and even saw some parts of New York that we weren't expecting to see. At one point, heading towards our next destination, we got on a train. Wasn't expecting to get on a train at all while we were there, and was going the wrong direction. Ended up in Queens, but it was all good. It was all good. We had a.
Did you run into Jadakiss and Dipset in there?
I wish. I was low key upset that whole thing, the verses, happened the week after, because I would have done everything I could to be a part of that. But I'll digress on that, because this is not a hip hop or rap or music podcast. But we can go there too. But yeah, the trip was phenomenal. Good time with the family, good food, good fun, great memories. Seeing my siblings and my nieces, seeing all 7 of my pop's granddaughters together for the first time was just a blessing, man. So good times.
No, that's exciting, bro. That's exciting. And yeah, I was able to catch a couple of the highlights and stuff like that. Like, you were in nature, bro. Like, you was up in the mountains,
yes,
deers and fishes and all that. I'm like, oh
yeah,
man.
we no exaggeration, we probably saw about 25 deer throughout that week. Saw a fox, bunny. And I didn't see it, but on the way driving to my dad's house one time, my daughter saw a black bear kind of in the woods, by the road that we were going down. So lots of nature, beautiful on a very, very high mountain up in the Poconos. So yeah, great time, man, overall. Absolutely.
Awesome, bro. So for me, I was like the complete opposite. I was straight south in Jamaica, but the missus and I had a blast. Like I've shared with our audience, or maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Well, if you heard this before, forgive me if you haven't. You're getting the information now. But the missus and I, our birthdays are about 7 days apart. So our annual tradition is we're going to take a trip, just her and I, get rid of the kids. They're going to go with the grandparents. Like, all right, y'all y'all hang out, hold that, let somebody else raise you for a week, and then let's get away. And that's kind of our gift to one another. And so for this one, we had planned the trip to Jamaica, and it was as good as advertised, 10 out of 10. We stayed at a really nice all-inclusive resort, adults only, so ain't no chillins. So that made it definitely, more special, more enjoyable. It was peaceful, and I did a lot of swimming, ate a lot of jerk chicken, had a good amount of red stripe. Just no shortage of swimming, sleeping, and eating, which is awesome. But also what made it even more special, Jimmy was already in on this in my plans. But I finally, took the step and took the step toward making an honest woman out of my missus, out of Gabriella, and I actually proposed to her. Thank you.
Yes. Round of applause.
And to no surprise, she said yes. Especially given the fact that we've been building this life together over 5+ years, between kids and houses and cars and all this other stuff. Thank you, people.
Yes, there it is.
Between kids.
Oh,
and
my
houses
bad. Too much. We're good now.
Between kids, houses, and cars and all that good stuff, man, we've been carving out a blessed life, a beautiful life.
Yes.
For us, and finally, able to give her the expression of my love that she so rightly deserves. And so we did that. Set it up all nice. Put a lot of preparation into it, kind of staying on the theme of confidence, which led to a high level of confidence on that evening's events. But I'll probably get into that a little bit later. But yeah, man, just that by itself, coupled with our alpha test, has ratcheted my confidence up to even beyond 15. Now it's on like 22. Confidence on 22 or something like that. So, man, just super excited and for the next steps. For us as we start to go down the path of figuring out wedding planning and what that entails. And she doesn't know what she wants to do. I have some idea of what I want to do, but at the end of the day, I really wanted to defer to her in some moments, on the events, because obviously the event is for both of us. We just got to figure all those things out. So she's about to have a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to have some fun as well, and we'll keep you all posted on.
I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff, man. I'm super happy for the both of you, and happy to see the continued progress and getting to that next step. So it's all good, man. All good.
Yes, sir. And so came back from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Got back to the States, and it was perfect timing because while I was in Jamaica, the only real complaint I have, the only thing that would probably make it like a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10, is that their sports offering was trash. When I finally crashed in the room, I was like, all right, let me turn on the TV. The only thing they were showing was like soccer, like old soccer, maybe like a little bit of rugby or something like that. But I'm like, man, do y'all not know it's preseason? It's like preseason football, like off season. I need training camp footage. I need to find out what's going on with summer league, basketball, all of these things. So I couldn't wait to get back stateside. Mm-hmm. Got back stateside, and we posted up at my parents' house for a couple of days in Orlando before coming back down here to South Florida. And really, I said it's so that we can spend more time together as a family with the kids. I lied. It was because I wanted to make sure I caught all of the Hall of Fame game and some of these summer league games before I hit the road and took the 3-hour drive back to Boca, and I was not disappointed. A lot of really, really good things going on from the NFL perspective. Mm-hmm. I was disappointed to see that Aaron Rodgers finally acquiesced and came back.
I was a little disappointed at that as well. I'll have to admit that. Yeah,
I want him to hold out, honestly, just for the benefit of my Vikes. So a lot of quarterback controversy in the NFC North between Aaron Rodgers and then Kirk Cousins, which we ain't going to get into, just Kirk being Kirk. Mm-hmm. And then, got to watch a lot of kind of the NBA stuff that was getting ready, that was going on. Got a little bit of insights in the draft. Really excited about the Orlando Magic's pick. I know it's a surprise to y'all. You guys didn't know this, but I'm an Orlando Magic fan. I was born and raised in Orlando. I am a loyal fan. But I also don't talk about it that much because we didn't really have much to talk about. But the pick of Jalen Suggs definitely has me excited. So I think that's promising. And it's cool too. When you start to see players that made the jump to the league last year come back, and mm-hmm. their presence in the summer league, and you start talking about them taking that next step in that growth in the whole nine. I always like to see that too. In the interviews. Actually, I saw a really funny one too. Your boy Anthony Edwards, which I thought tied in perfectly. Yeah, you were telling me about that. Upcoming conversation about self-confidence, because if anybody's ever just listened to Anthony Edwards and an interview with Anthony Edwards, it is the most unintentionally hilarious thing in the world. Like, you know, you have those people who are just funny, but they don't try to be funny because they just being themselves. Like, they're just real and authentic, and that authenticity in every situation, like sometimes they're too real, and that's the joke.
Yeah.
And they're like kind of in on it, but not really in on it, and you're just like cracking up laughing. He is that. Like, he is that 100%. And they were talking to him and catching up with him, like, hey, what are you doing in the off season? And you know, first you expect to hear the things that you expect to hear from a professional athlete. You're working on my craft, So he said all that. It's like, but yeah, also been taking some time for me. Picked up a new hobby. You know, I learned how to bowl. And they're like, oh, you learned about how to bowl? And he's like, yeah, I learned how to bowl. And they're like, are you any good? He's like, man, I'm good. Like, what do you mean good? And he's like, I'm good. Like, 200 something. I'm bowling 200 something. If you're not bowling 200, don't talk to me, right? And so the sports reporter is laughing about that, and she's like, okay. She's like, well, that's not what we were talking about though before we decided to interview you, because you were telling me you did something else. And he's like, oh yeah, I got baptized in the waters of Lake Minnetonka, right? Because he's in Minnesota. And obviously said that, and like I'm thinking about Prince.
Yes.
All right, he's like, I got baptized in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. He's like, also I've been up there doing a lot of water sports, jet skiing, swimming. And so the lady's like, you've been swimming? He's like, like Michael Phelps. Like, just he exudes this confidence, this charisma, right? And it's just seeing that he's consistently been that way, because like from his very first interview that I saw with him as a rookie, he making the circuit like you do, especially if you're the number 1 overall pick, which he was, from the University of Georgia, and they're talking to him about his competitive fire, and he's like, man, I'm super competitive. It's like, is there any sport that you don't like? He's like, or that you're not good at it? He's like, man, I'll be good in all of them. And they're like, all of them? He's like, I'll be good in all of them. You name it, don't matter. Basketball, football, tennis, right? And so he starts going down the list, and then now they're testing him. They're like, you're bowling? He's like, yeah. They're like, swimming? He's like, absolutely. Soccer? Yep. They're like, baseball? He's like, bet I'd be A1 from day one. And that became a thing.
A1 from day one.
That became a thing, and like that left an impression with me. And then he went off to have a phenomenal rookie campaign. He finished number 2 in the Rookie of the Year voting behind LaMelo Ball. But he just had a great season. And so I thought it was hilarious, one, that he mentioned bowling, and then he came back now a year later. He's like, oh yeah, I learned how to bowl, and I'm good at it. Because that also speaks to just kind of the commitment and the effort and the discipline to back up whatever he says. But man, he just exuded this crazy confidence. I'm like, man, that's what we mean when we start coaching and talking to entrepreneurs about having confidence in their purpose, having confidence in their skill set, having confidence in their plan, their ability, the team that they've built. Like, that's what we mean. You need to have that level of unwavering confidence to be able to go through the grind that comes with this journey of entrepreneurship, because there's going to be moments of self-doubt. There's going to be moments that are peppered with negative talk. There's going to be moments of folks trying to influence you differently. There's going to be moments where I think, one of our alpha test participants mentioned this, but there's going to be moments where you have more valleys than mountains, and that unwavering self-confidence is necessary to get through those valleys so that you can get back to the peaks. And so I know we had planned to kind of unpack that, and I was like, man, this is a great affirmation that this is a much needed message. And so I'm looking forward to us really being able to break down those 5 simple ways for our entrepreneurs out there to be able to boost their confidence to where it needs to be, so that you're equipped for the journey of entrepreneurship.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's about boosting your self-confidence in life as an individual, and definitely as an entrepreneur, because you tend to see that people do admire that. Not only do they admire confidence in an individual, which helps to build trust, but it also inspires confidence in other people. So as a entrepreneur, as a business owner, I have a product, a service that I am looking to provide as a solution for somebody's problem. The more confident I am in that solution, the more confident I'm going to instill in this person that I'm looking to invest in themselves, and in doing so, invest in our services, our products, whatever that may be. But in that, you're also kind of transferring some of that confidence into them, that whatever that problem is, we can work through this. We can solve it. We can fix it, or we can create whatever it is that you're trying, that goal that you're trying to obtain. We can do that with this solution that I have. And of course, not with just a solution, but with me as the individual, in our case as coaches, being able to help this person again get to that other side and go through that journey. So again, 5 simple tips that we have and ways that you can boost your self-confidence, so that you can become not just confidence in yourself, but again, become someone that others admire as you continue on your path of entrepreneurial success. So the first one, you just kind of alluded to this, that we're going to talk about, is getting rid of the negative. You have to take time to really evaluate the people that you hang around, and who, we talked about this in one of our episodes, who's in that inner circle, right? And who do you surround yourself with? If you know that you have friends and family who are just always really just shredding your confidence and putting you down, they don't have the same type of belief system, maybe the same type of faith, or they just don't see the vision as you see. And I've said this before, God gave that vision to you. He didn't give it to somebody else. In saying that, sometimes, again, friends, family, they can be negative, maybe because they're scared, because they're nervous, and they're really, kind of portraying that nervousness that they have, that fear that they may have on you. But you have to realize that they're family, right? So you have to be mindful of those relationships, but also realize that I might have to take a step back because I have this vision, I have this focus, and I can't have that negativity surrounding myself. So even a temporary break from those negative influences in your life, it really can make a huge difference in realizing that in this season, I really need to focus, and I need to have as many positive people and influences around me to ensure that I'm in the right mindset, because that really is the biggest component of this and this life as an entrepreneur. Am I in the right mindset more times than not, more days than not, to be able to get through the things that I need to get through, so that I can find my success in helping others find their success, again, with whatever products or services that I'm bringing to the market and to the community. You just need to stop focusing on problems in your life and focus on how you're going to make positive changes. It's easy. It can be easy sometimes to kind of get caught up in all of the things that challenges that you may have, but really focusing on the people that may miss out on their dreams, on their vision. They may miss out on something improved or a little bit better in their life because you didn't provide that solution that you know you have for them. So being focused on that, again, leaving that negativity aside, is always just going to be very, very helpful for you, for your spirit, for your mindset, in helping you to obtain the goals that you're trying to obtain as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think the biggest nugget that you just dropped there is the importance of not just receding from the negativity, but then surrounding yourself by positive influences and the positivity that you need as you go on this journey. Because I've seen too many times, whether it's memes, tweets, stuff like that, like folks saying like you got to build in private, you got to build in private, and then after it's built, then displayed in public. And where I don't agree with that 100% is it sets up this notion that you have to build alone. In order to avoid negativity, you have to build alone. And we've been talking about this with our alpha test group about the importance of community as an entrepreneur. To that energy is palpable, and it feeds and builds momentum, and it's transferable. So when you see other folks, even if they're not playing in the same space that you are, racking up wins, building out their vision, testing things, learning, reiterating, that's contagious. And it gives you the encouragement, the motivation, the excitement, the energy, whatever you want to call it, to invest and build for your business. And so that's why it's important to surround yourself by this positivity. It doesn't mean that in order to avoid negativity, you have to avoid interaction. That's the worst thing that you can do. Second worst thing besides staying where the negativity is at. The answer is to seek out the positivity and surround yourself with the positivity and the positive influence, and people that are going to cheerlead you on. And it doesn't mean that they have to be experts in your space. Like, I think about, my own personal journey, and when I was writing and producing and performing, recording, and doing all that stuff. Right, one of my biggest support systems along that journey was you, and you don't have the music chops that I do, the music prowess to be able to give me feedback on the technical component of how I'm constructing the album, or how I'm writing this, or why I would construct this verse this way for this individual. But it was that unwavering support, that validation, that showing up to shows and demonstrating support in the way that you could, that was necessary to feed what I was building and what I was building at the time, and to overcome some of those challenges. And so I would just really encourage our entrepreneurs out there, as you're going through this process and you're removing yourself from the negativity, seek out the positive influences. Again, even if they are not playing in the same space as you are, even if they're not experts in that space, they may not even be entrepreneurs. They may just want to support you for the sake of supporting you, and they rock with you, and they believe in you and your vision, and they're confident that you're going to figure out whatever you need to figure out. And the best thing I can be for you is a support system, an ear if you need an ear, a bit of encouragement if you need a word of encouragement. Like, that's how I can help. Like, seek that out, and when you do that, that can go a long way towards boosting your self-confidence, which is so critically important. Again, as you go through this journey of entrepreneurship, you have to be able to arm yourself with that. You really do, because there's been plenty of times that self-confidence has been the only fuel in our tanks that has propelled us to that next achievement, and we didn't even realize it until we actually accomplished it.
No, facts. I mean, that's one of the reasons why that we also created the Uncompromising Entrepreneurs group in Facebook. We've said it a number of times. Definitely, that's a place where you can join us. It costs you nothing but a little bit of effort to go onto Facebook if you're on there, to find the group and elect to join the group itself. But we have, close to about 55 men right now. It's a small group, but it is one of encouragement. It's where we also ask different questions for accountability purposes, and just to try to provide motivation and hopefully inspire each other through whatever challenges. And everybody in there is not necessarily an entrepreneur. We have businessmen in their own space, and leaders in their space. So definitely a good place, again, to be around positivity and ensure that you're not alone within this journey that you're going through. So definitely a big component of getting rid of the negative is surrounding yourself. And sometimes if you just really focus on that and like, how can I get closer? How can I meet other people and put myself in different surroundings of more positive individuals? You'll tend to see that the negative individuals, they just start to kind of fall away, because your time is being devoted into other places that are going to be more nurturing for you, and where you can continue to give and encourage and be there for other people as well.
No, absolutely, man. Well said. So the second tip that we would give our entrepreneurs to really boost your self-confidence, equip you with the self-confidence necessary for this entrepreneurial journey, is to focus on your body language. Like, I know it seems simple, but focusing on your body language can be a very, very powerful tool to boosting your self-confidence. And we're not just talking about
your posture. Obviously, we've all heard that as kids growing up, and our parents talk about, or your grandparents
Stand
talk
up
about
straight,
it.
shoulders back.
Shoulders back. Yeah, stand up straight, shoulders back, eye contact, shaking hands, the whole nine. But there's actually mental triggers that are associated with our body language and the physical movements that we make to put us in the right headspace. And whether you guys have studied sports psychology or psychology in general to really understand the value there, you can actually leverage those tools for your own benefit when you're going through the process of negotiations, interviewing, interacting with prospective clients, the whole nine. Actually, for me personally, I know when I'm in a situation where I'm seated with somebody one-on-one and I'm going to be talking about the intricacies of my business, and maybe I'm looking to secure some type of partnership, secure some type of deal, secure some type of contract, so we're going to go through some type of negotiations. Leading up to it, there's a series that I actually go through mentally, and I use my body language to help trigger the confidence that's associated with that. So I'll picture the interaction. I'll know exactly what I'm going to be wearing, like in advance of the meeting. So I already know, okay, I'm gonna have this shirt on, these pants on. If I'm wearing a tie, I'm gonna have this tie. I'm gonna have these shoes. I'm gonna have this watch. And I visualize myself. I see myself in my mind's eye. And then I picture myself having the interaction with the individual. And when I sit down, I sit all the way back in the chair. I cross my right leg over my left knee, right, and I will fold my hands and I'll rest them on my lap, and that's like my power position. Like once I put myself in that position, I know that that's going to trigger. Oh, we've done this before. We've had this conversation with this individual. We know how this is going to play out, because through my visualization technique, after I go through putting myself in that position, then I picture the conversation playing out, not word for word, but just me mouthing things and them mouthing it back. And then I over exaggerate their body language and through my visualization of them being like, oh man, this is impressive. Oh, I can't say no to this. Yeah, absolutely. This is a deal. So that when it comes time to actually sit down with this individual, the minute I put myself in my power position, my mind goes, yep, we already know how this is going to play out. And my confidence gets boosted. I can feel it. And, again, we talk about energy being palpable, tangible. Like I can feel it radiate from me. Like, oh yeah, he already, like, they know I'm here to play. Like I'm not here to play. Like I'm here. And every single time I've done that, it has boded well for me. And so I share that with our entrepreneurs because, again, you can leverage the exact same things when you're meeting with individuals. Like there's a reason why, and I know that we typically frown upon this phrase, but I want us to keep it focused in the space of confidence specifically, and especially body language. But there's a reason why the phrase "fake it till you make it" exists, and what it is really speaking to when you put yourself in the mindset, like when you put yourself in the mindset and you claim something mentally, I am confident, even if you may not necessarily be feeling confident. Just putting yourself in that mindset can go a long way towards securing the first affirmation that truly does feed the confidence.
Yeah.
Right? The minute you say, all right, I'm going to shake their hand confidently, I need to exude confidence in my handshake and my eye contact, that by itself can be enough for that person that you're engaging with to soften. And the minute they soften, you get that affirmation back, like, oh, okay, they actually do like me. They are interested in what I'm saying. And then it's that starts feeding that confidence, and then it's that momentum builder. So it is important to make sure that you are focusing on your body language. Like we talked about posture, eye contact, smiling, speaking slowly obviously can come into play, as people typically associate fast speech with some type of nervousness. Don't be afraid to compose yourself. I've even done things in order to, like, over the years, because I know it may be hard to believe after, as many podcast episodes as we've done and people getting to know us. And if you've seen us facilitate live or talk live, like, you would not think that, we have any issues with confidence, but there's things that we've done as facilitators, as public speakers, to develop that type of discipline, that type of skill set. And so there's tricks that I've leveraged over the years. I used to get bad nerves, like shakes, when I would have to speak or stand up. So I started carrying a water bottle, because when I carried the water bottle, my mind was focused on not spilling the water, and so I consciously would control my shakes. Mm-hmm. The way that I would help to slow down my rate of speech is, again, same water bottle, I would take a sip of the water before I'm getting ready to give an answer. After I've given a couple of sentences, if I ever felt like, damn, I'm saying too much or I'm going too fast, take a sip of water, allows you to compose yourself. It gives you that break without feeling like, oh man, there's an awkward pause, and then that impacts my confidence even more. So there's these things that you can definitely leverage from a body language perspective to help feed your confidence, but it starts with being cognizant of it. Like everything I've mentioned, you have to be first and foremost aware of it, and then intentional about it, leveraging things like visualization, leveraging things like, being cognizant of your body language, and just those little tricks can go a long way towards, again, feeding the momentum by getting the initial affirmation, and then from there, the rest takes care of itself.
Yeah, and I think even with the body language, it also having that confident body language and focusing on those things that you just mentioned, it also provides a certain presence that people can sense. When you walk into a room and they see you for the first time, and again, all of these things, right, that were these 5 ways and tips that we're providing to boost that self-confidence is to help inspire confidence in other people as well, especially if you're talking about having a meeting, trying to build some type of partnership or win a contract, whatever that is. When people feel that confidence and it's exuding not cockiness, but just confidence in who you are, and you said this at the beginning, your purpose. People see that. They see it, they feel it, even from a virtual perspective. People can still feel that, and that was even expressed to us, after the kickoff meeting that we had with the men in our alpha test just the other night. So. Now, through all of that confidence and those situations, that really takes us into this third way that we have for you to boost your self-confidence to find entrepreneurial success. The title of this podcast and the business, right, is Uncompromising Entrepreneur. We say uncompromising because we also want you to be uncompromising in your acceptance of failure. We know that it's going to happen, but that doesn't mean that you have to accept where you're at in that moment, or accept, this lack of success or this moment that can be considered failure as the end all to be all. Again, I mentioned earlier that it's about the mindset, and it's about not giving up, even when things get tough, or they may get the toughest for you, and maybe the toughest situation that you've ever been through. There are going to be peaks, there's going to be valleys in these mountains, and it is really up to us through our thought process to hopefully, again, having positive people and positive influences around us to stay focused on the output and making sure that we're not accepting that failure. We're continuing to move forward and understanding that there is a solution to every problem. You just have to invest the time to find it. And as an entrepreneur, that's one of the key things that we bring to the table that really makes us who we are. Is at least one of the tools, strong tools in our toolbox, is that we're problem solvers. We figure things out. Maybe you don't have the solution right away, but give yourself some time, work through it, and again, invest the time to finding the solution for that problem. When you're able to succeed through, maybe some of the greatest of adversity, you're going to feel that immediate boost in confidence. And it also provides confidence in the future that, because again, it's inevitable, you're going to run into more challenges and other problems. I'm learning from all of these situations and what may be considered a loss, but really it's just a lesson. As I'm learning, that's going to give me confidence that the next time I'm in this situation, I'm going to know how to respond, or at least, even if it's something I've never been through, I'm still going to have the confidence I'm going to be able to get through it because I got through the last problem, the challenge, the one before that, and the one before that. I'm resourceful. I have people on my team or people that I can count on that I partnered with to help me be able to get through those challenging times and that adversity in my life. So just don't give up. Don't accept the failure. Be uncompromising in that will. The last thing I will say is that I've been mentioning this to a few people over the last few days because it just continues to stick in my mind. Somebody had posted a clip of Kobe Bryant and one of his interviews, and Kobe being Kobe, right? Mamba mentality, was just speaking to the fact that as he was getting ready for the season, and mentally he was saying, like, once I've signed this contract for myself, like, there's no more negotiations. Like, not the contract he's signing with the team or anything like that. The contract that he is signing with himself to do the things that he needs to do to find success, not just for him, for his teammates, and to reach that goal that they have for themselves. There's no negotiating with me once that contract is signed. And that has just been sticking in my brain, and I've been sharing it with folks because, again, it gets to that. There's going to be challenges, but I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm going to stick to the things that I told myself I was going to do to be able to get through this and to get to the other side. And all of that, again, encompasses really what we mean by being an uncompromising entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely, bro, man. You spit and you spit and you spit, and I love it. I love it. I love it. You're right. Like, I had to, when you touched on uncompromising, I had to immediately go to the definition. I just wanted to make sure that we captured it and shared it. But when we talk about uncompromising, showing an unwillingness to make concession to others, especially by changing one's ways or opinions. And that can often be taken as having a negative connotation. But for us, it was important to embrace that moniker, because when we think about what entrepreneurship means for us and what it represents, purpose, profits, legacy, I'm not compromising on any of that. I'm not compromising on my purpose. I'm not compromising on my desire to create profits and to give financial stability to my family. I am not compromising on the legacy that I am building. And I love what you called out about Kobe specifically and the contract that he signed with himself, saying, hey, there's no negotiation. And what I mean by that is the outcome, the stated outcome is not changing. How I get to that may have to change because adversity comes up and new problems, and I have to solve for those problems. But the answer to new problems is not going to be to change what my outcome is going to be. It's not going to, Kobe wasn't saying, all right, this season I got to win a ring. And when, my number 2 option, went out with an injury, he didn't say, okay, well, now I want to get the 8th seed.
He didn't get to the finals, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't change what the destination was. He said, I got to figure out, I got to solve for a new route because my destination is not negotiable. And so I love that. You're right. The strength for us as entrepreneurs is our ability to solve problems. And you have to be able to trust your problem solving ability, your track record. You also have to be able to trust your resourcefulness. Like you said, we may not have the answer right now. That doesn't mean that we say, okay, well, I'm going to change the question. Nah, fam. No. We're going to spend the time needed to find the answer to this question, because it's not like I'm the first person to ever have to go through this. And I have folks that I can leverage, teams around me. I can seek help. I can secure coaching to help me multiply, magnify my natural problem solving ability so I can overcome this one. Because once I overcome this one, the next question, the next problem that may come up, I may already have the answer for, but I can never get to that until I solve the one that's directly in front of me. So, man, I love it, bro.
Facts.
You potting. All right,
let's go. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep this momentum going. So, the 4th tip for our entrepreneurs to boost your self-confidence on the way to entrepreneurial success is to eliminate the negative self-talk. You've heard us mention this before. It's a moniker we absolutely believe in and live by. I've shared it plenty of time with my kids. They've heard my mouth about this, but it's whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right either way. So you might as well think that you can. When we sit there and we have these negative thoughts, when we say these negative things about ourselves, we are manifesting, our words have power, we are manifesting those things into reality and then using that as validation of our negative self-talk. And it's the other way around. what we manifest is validation that we spoke these negative things into existence, right? The power in our speech and our belief. So you have to think positively. Your low self-confidence is generally a result of the negative thoughts that are running through your mind. You have more conversations with yourself than any other person in your lifetime. Period. It's because you can't get away from yourself. You're always occupied with yourself. All right? So you have more conversations with yourself. That means that you are the most impactful at influencing and shaping and molding your thoughts, your processes, your beliefs. If individuals that you seldom interact with can influence your mood, then of course you can have an even bigger impact on your mood, because again, you're having more interactions with yourself than anybody else. And so it's important that you're always telling yourself the right things, that you're good enough, that you're capable, that you'll figure it out, that you're resourceful, because all of these things become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Start reciting positive affirmations on a daily basis to transform that negative self-talk into positive talk. And you have to be able to catch yourself and hold yourself accountable. Like I am that for my family. The minute I catch anybody in my family, the missus, the boys, anything like that, saying anything that I interpret as negative self-speak to themselves, I challenge them. What? And like I'll have a conversation in which Jimmy's heard me say before, like, and my family can attest to this. That's like their biggest fear is that like they got to hear my mouth about something. I think literally Gio was like, man, just punish me. I don't want to have to talk.
I'm done. No,
this is the punishment. You gonna talk to me real quick.
Yes.
But I'll entertain it. I'm not good at something. Why would you say that? What makes you say that? How do you know? Have you tried? How much time have you put in improving and perfecting? Right? Like, I'll go down that entire thought process and force you to give me an answer to it, because I'm trying to bring to your attention that you can't come to that conclusion if you haven't put in the effort, the time, or anything in order to find out if you have any talent or skill in that area at all. So how can you automatically say that you're not good at something? I don't see it that way. I think, since we're talking a little bit about basketball, like the way that I've always been wired is I'm not bad at anything. I just haven't spent enough time mastering it. I haven't invested my time in mastering it. As simple as that. Like the minute I flip the switch and decide I'm going to perfect that, I'm going to get good at that, it's a foregone conclusion. I will get good at that. Just like Jordan. Jordan said, I've never lost a game. I just ran out of time. He's like, I just ran out of time. Right? So that's exactly how I'm wired, and that's how our entrepreneurs should be wired when we're talking about that positive self-talk. We mentioned this before, that there's already going to be negativity out there anyway. People that are trying to convince you to have the same skeptical, pessimistic view of entrepreneurship and your goals in your life, because somewhere along the line, they bought into that. And they're looking for validation that their decision to give up on their purpose was the right thing to do by robbing you of yours, right? They look to, you've heard misery loves company, but people look to communities for validation of self. And if I find or create a community of people that have given up on their purpose and have succumbed to the idea that, they're not good enough for whatever life has to offer, then that's validation and affirmation that I was okay. It was okay for me to give up on my purpose too. And so that's another reason why we think it's so important to surround yourself with positive influences. Because if you surround yourself with people like Jimmy, people like myself, people like the men that are in our alpha test, none of those individuals are going to allow you to pepper any of their conversations with that negative self-talk about like we're just going to challenge you on it. Like, what makes you say that? Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's just realizing that whatever, again, we're talking about a lack of self-confidence, whatever that feeling is that you have, that feeling generated for some thought. So it's just recognizing that, taking the time to, okay, what was that thought? Where did that thought come from? And to your point, it's not always going to be something that you think of. Maybe somebody intentionally or unintentionally planted a seed, and you're repeating that lack of confidence, that that experience of failure and that place where they've given up, right? And now you're feeding off of that, and that is what's causing your self-confidence. So it's all about just getting rid of that. I love the thing what you said about, making sure that you're repeating positive affirmations on a daily basis, because it's just so important to speak to yourself and to lift your own self up and to do your best to be that same type of person for others when you get the opportunity. So eliminating negative self-talk is very important as we round out these 5 ways to boost your self-confidence and find entrepreneurial success. The last one is all about preparation. We say preparation is key, but it really is. I've found that, you gave that example earlier about meetings or in the past, if it was an interview or a presentation or something that we're getting ready to present, the more prepared you are, the more confidence you're going to have. I definitely do my best to try to coach Elena up kind of on that mental aspect. She is a type of person that just thinks way too much about everything, and she listens to the podcast, so she may hear this at some point, but she knows it because I tell her. We knew on the vacation, one of the things that we had to make sure was taken care of was that she had a final interview for this job that she had applied for, and she was nervous, but in that process, we were joking with her. Oh man, we got like a whole week to prepare. You're going to have me and grandpa there. Like we're going to do mock interviews and all this kind of stuff. But, just explaining to her, the steps. I've broken it down to you. You know what you need to do to prepare. I'm not saying that it's going to take all of the nervousness away, but the more prepared you are going into a situation, then the more confidence you're going to have, and the less self-doubt and self-confidence, because all right, there's really not going to be anything that I'm not prepared for or that's kind of come out of left field, because I've thought to my best of my abilities. I've thought about all of these different angles. I've prepared myself for this situation. We talk about presenting. I had a presentation a few weeks ago, and we had a group of people in a particular office that I wasn't prepared for. We had several other individuals that were remotely at home, and there was just a lot of technical difficulties and logistics that we were trying to work out. And I got compliments on how I handled that situation. Well, one is the confidence, but the confidence comes from the hundreds of presentations and webinars and conferences that we've done, that when I'm in that moment, like I'm not fazed by those things, right? Because I've been through those situations before. I know how to handle myself in those situations. And also my main focus was the participants and the learners. So I'm not going to be focused on myself and allowing this to kind of get me off of my game, because I'm still focused on the experience that I'm trying to make sure I create for these participants and these learners. But all of that has to do with preparation. The more you're prepared, again, that doesn't mean that everything is going to be easy, but it will be easier along the way. When you're prepared, you have the knowledge to back it up, your confidence is just going to go through the roof, and you'll see that expressed in others because of what they see in you as you're going through your processes, presenting, speaking, selling, playing basketball, whatever it may be. You're prepared for that moment, and that shines through in those situations.
No, well said, man. Yeah, it's funny, like you were talking about Elena and just kind of her nervousness, and yeah, I can already imagine like y'all hamming it up a little bit, like, man, you got the best of both worlds. You about to get dad, you about to get grandpa. Like we know this. We gonna prep you. You're gonna be prepared to a T. But I also appreciate you. Go ahead.
I wasn't. None of that happened. But she, and I told you this already. She did very well on the interview, and she got the job. So we're very excited for her.
Oh, that's blessed, man. Yeah. Awesome. But what I was gonna say though is like what I do appreciate you mentioning is that the preparation is not going to take care of all the nerves. There's going to be some nerves, and for me, that's a good sign, because for me it means that you're invested in the outcome. You want to be successful. If you didn't care about it, you're not going to be nervous at all. So knowing that, whenever I go into a situation, what I try to mentally tell myself is that, and I know this may seem counterintuitive, but just follow me here, like when it comes to nerves, the only nerves that I want to exist are the irrational ones, not the rational ones. And what I mean by that is if there's rational nervousness, it probably means I failed to prepare. Because when I'm going through that checklist of, man, I'm nervous as hell, like, why? And I can rationalize it. Oh, you didn't spend any time on your talking points. You didn't put any time into the deck. You didn't connect with different stakeholders so that you knew confidently what you were speaking to. All of that is a recipe for disaster. It means I did not prepare. It means that I'm not going to produce the best product possible. Irrational nervousness would be, why are you nervous? I want to do a good job. All right, well, did you prepare? Yeah, I did everything I was supposed to. I spoke to the people I did. I went over my presentation. I built the deck. I've talked to the necessary stakeholders. I know my numbers. I know my figures. I know my financials. Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, the only thing that's left is the irrational nerves, and that's fine because that means you care about this.
Yes.
Go get it. Right? So I think preparation is so critically important. We started off the pod talking a little bit about the life events that have happened for myself, and funny enough, after obviously we made it public to friends, families, and others that we had gotten engaged, that I proposed to her. The question that I kept getting was, "Man, were you nervous?" And my answer to that every single time it was, "Nah." Like, first off, I knew what the answer was going to be. We've been building a life together for about 5 years, and she's a Leo in every sense of the word, so she's been very not subtle about her hints over the past year. So I already knew what the answer was going to be, but I know for some folks, like when I gave that answer, a couple of folks asked me, well, I knew you knew what the answer was going to be, but were you nervous about how the proposal was going to play out? Because you went to another country and organizing all that. And honestly, it was the preparation that gave me confidence that it was going to be a memorable event, a memorable night for her. Worked with the resort and the concierge, and we did a romantic dinner on the beach. Multiple courses, sunset. Spoke to them about favorite colors, flowers. Can we get flowers? Can we do this? Can we do this? This is when I'm planning to pop the question. It'll be right before dessert, after our dinner course. This is how I envision it playing out. And you writing in chocolate, writing in chocolate on the plate. Will you marry me? Me going into my spiel, getting down on the knee, giving her the ring. I'm gonna hold on to the ring, like all of those intricate details, and then double, triple, quadruple checking with different folks that were involved in that process, from the concierge to the multiple waiters, to a little inside joke, but our homeboy Carlton, who was our personal waiter that evening.
Oh my gosh, very personal waiter.
Yeah, very personal waiter, Carlton. But just quadruple checking with all these individuals after every interaction and making sure that people could outline to me the vision that I cast to them. That just continued to boost my confidence. So I knew that the event was going to go off the way that I wanted it to go off, and that it would be memorable and impactful for her. But I could only have that level of confidence because of the preparation. So again, preparation is just so critically important. And you definitely know when it's absent, when it's missing, and you can feel it. Like that energy is just, it's not a fun feeling at all. We've unfortunately all been in that moment one time or another where we didn't take advantage of the time to prepare, and we find ourselves in a situation and it's like, all right, I can freestyle and work my way through this, but it's not the best version of me. It's not my best product, and I don't even like how this feels. Like, ugh. So just avoid it altogether. Spend the time, invest in the preparation. It'll pay dividends for you.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 5 ways to boost your self-confidence. Get rid of the negative things, people, places in your life. Change your body language. Don't accept failure. Be uncompromising in the goals and the people you're looking to serve and how you're going to do that. Eliminate negative self-talk. And then last but not least, always be prepared. Practice helps a whole lot. So, I mean, life is going to...
I was going to say, you do all 5 of those things, and you are guaranteed to be A1 from day one.
A1 from day one. Yes. I mean, because we know there's going to be so many setbacks and challenges in life. Again, it's inevitable. But if you practice these things that we just broke down to you, you will be A1 from day one, and you will have the confidence that you need to succeed. So to all of our uncompromising entrepreneurs out there, again, thank you for listening. Please show us some love. Go ahead and comment, like, and share this podcast episode. If you want to reach out to us, you can do that a few ways. First, connect with us within Facebook at the Uncompromising Entrepreneurs, plural, group. We mentioned that at the beginning of this episode as well. And then follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course on our YouTube channel at the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast. You can even email us at info@uncompromisingcoaches.com if you'd like to speak with us and maybe even set up some time to get a consultation as well. We are available for you for that. So we hope that you, again, enjoyed these 5 ways to boost your self-confidence. Be on the lookout. Our next episode 56. This was episode 55. 56 is right around the corner. We're going to be discussing 4 ways that you as an entrepreneur can develop a growth mindset. Really start talking about what that means and give you 4 ways that you can develop that growth mindset. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. Again, for our loyal listeners and our new listeners, stick with us. We'll continue to drop these golden nuggets for you every day with a little edutainment that we bring to the table, a little education and entertainment, the way that we do, Devon and myself. Again, the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast. Until next time, y'all, God bless and stay encouraged. You have just listened to the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast, hosted by Jimmy Gonzalez and Devon Watts. Thank you, and we hope that you pursue your passion, create profits, and build a legacy. Until next time, y'all.